Okay, what I'm going to be looking at now is at-sea refueling options as well as endurance once again. So I have a task force southeast of Iwo Jima, and I'll just get screen capture again. Here we go, and as you can see we have no endurance or no fuel left on the Yamato. If I click on it, you can see up here fuel 0%, and on the destroyer we have 960 endurance. I've set a patrol zone fairly close and the home port of Chichijima, so it's 10 hexes back to Chichijima. I'm just going to run a turn and show you what happens. Okay, so the task force decided that it was out of endurance, and it's automatically assigned itself back to the home port. So our endurance here is still 0 and 920 again. You can see though that when you don't have any fuel, the system damage has gone up for the Yamato. And so obviously if this was a long way away from port, this would cause quite big headaches. Anyway, I'm going to reset the scenario and do it again and show you about refueling options. Okay, so we're back again, and this time I've given my two ships a little bit more endurance. So they have 25 movement hexes and 16 back to Chichijima. And now I have a replenishment task force sitting up at Chichijima, and I have my surface combat task force sitting down here. It's at the moment routed for Chichijima. So what we want to do is we're going to set up a patrol zone. So set patrol zone. Boundary 1, I'm going to set it all the way out here, and boundary 2 I'm going to set here. Okay. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set my replenishment task force to meet this task force. So it's going to refuel, it's direct and absolute. Exit. Let's just have a look just to check that. So up here, meeting task force 20 to refuel. The other thing that we need to be aware of is that in our patrol zone, at the moment we've got do not refuel options on here. If we change these to minimum refuel, it means that it will be refueled enough to perform its duty plus 10%. If we do tactical refuel, it's the same as minimum refuel. It gives the task force enough fuel to complete its mission plus another 50% padding. And then obviously the last option is full refuel. Okay. The other thing to be aware of is that at present the destination hex is quite a long way away. Now if I'd made my patrol zone a little bit smaller, the task force would probably revert straight back to Chichijima, which means that the replenishment task force wouldn't move at all. It wouldn't come out. Because it's at Chichijima, it will wait for the task force to come back to Chichijima. So because I've set it so far out, that's what it's done. The other option you could do to make sure that it does go out and refuel is to set your home port to another base. This will mean that the replenishment task force will definitely come out and refuel. Let me just pause this, run a turn, and show you what happens. Okay, and although you can't see it, the replenishment task force went out and met the surface combat task force, and our endurance has increased. Our Yamato now is at 99%, and our destroyer is at 100% as well. So this will quite happily continue patrolling along here. Our replenishment task force, meanwhile, its fuel has dropped and it's come back to the home port of Chichijima. Okay, I hope that helps you a little bit. It does take a little bit of practice to get this right, so you should practice doing this with the various options before you do it in game. Okay, thank you for listening.